This is Sid and Friends in the morning.
77 WABC.
I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Hanging on the promises and the songs of yesterday. And I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again.
Whitesnake, here I go again. He was the best. He still is the best. He'll always be the best. Whether it's 9 p.m. weeknights right here on WABC or his own amazing website, BillO'Reilly.com. Great stories, great columns, great interviews, great television. He the best. His Killing series is now 13 in, all bestsellers. Actually makes Chris Cuomo watchable. That ain't easy. I'm sorry. I know he tends to like Chris. Chris is a moron, okay? But he makes him watchable. He does. And I will tell you that coming off another huge ratings week for this show, that O'Reilly is hugely responsible for that. And on top of all of that, yesterday in the mail, I received my hard copy version of his new book coming out September the 10th, Confronting the Presidents. And as we speak, it's on my coffee table in my living room right now. And I'll be reading it this weekend. Here he is, the best ever, Bill O'Reilly. Good morning, Bill.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Who do you think Judge Pirro's voting for?
I can't tell.
No, I can't either. She's kind of crafty.
But I like that. I mean, I got to tell you, Bill, I'm watching Mike Barnacle. I'm watching CNN, and all they're doing is going on and on about Trump name calling yesterday. Enough.
I love it. Look, let me walk through this. So the far left, and that's MSNBC and Barnacle, and I go way back with Barnacle to Boston, where he was really a good columnist. He wasn't an ideologue.
Bill, don't forget, he was close with all of us with Imus. He got us Red Sox tickets.
Is that right?
Yes.
Barnacle got Imus went out of the house. I don't know.
No. He got me, Bernie, and Lou Red Sox tickets, but
right.
He was on Imus all the time with us.
Right. Imus, when he went home, was locked in the basement, was not allowed to go out in public.
Right.
Which is the way it should have been. It would have been way too many felonies. So you got Barnacle and you got all that crew at MSNBC, and they're offended that Trump is saying bad things about Kamala Harris. Like they've never said anything bad.
Thank you.
I mean, it's 24/7 on MSNBC. He's the devil. He's Hitler. He's Ted Bundy. I mean, you just fill in the name.
Yeah.
And then when Trump goes out and goes, "Oh, she's dumb as a rock." Oh, we're so offended.
I mean, please. Right.
I mean, even the MSNBC audience, all right, would put down their crayons and go, "What? What? What is that?" So anyway, look, you're going to Mar-a-Lago tonight, right?
No, I'm going to. He's in Bedminster, New Jersey.
Oh, that's right, Bedford.
Yeah.
What's going on there? I wasn't invited.
Well, you weren't invited because it is he's got all these coalitions. He's got a coalition, African American. This is a Jewish voice coalition tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, I can slap that yarmulke on. I'll put a shawl on.
Yeah.
I know everything about Abraham.
I know you do.
I can do 20 minutes.
I know. Hey, listen, you are well versed when it comes to the Jews. But it's funny you mentioned you going there tonight because in your morning message today, which I look forward to every day, we play it on this show about 7:30, and it's important, and people love it. They really do. You talked about how, one of these days coming up, based upon your history, there's a very good chance you're going to speak to President Trump. On the other hand, there is no chance you're going to speak to Kamala Harris. Isn't that true?
Yes, because Kamala Harris is not going to talk to anybody. I think she'll do a couple of interviews that they'll handpick, but she feels the Democrats feel they don't have to go through the press at all because the press is already with them. And so I don't expect her to do much press at all. I'm not sure about Trump because, I'm not one of these people that goes in and says, let Trump be Trump. I'm not.
That's me.
My slogan is, let Trump be smart. That's my slogan.
Who determines whether he's smart or not?
Me, of course.
Okay, fair enough.
Whether everybody's smart. That's an easy one. All right? If you want to know who's smart, you just call me and I'll tell you.
I'm not going to argue.
All right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's let Trump be smart. And I think you're making a mistake by feeling that there aren't people who will switch their votes one way or the other. And I'll prove it by saying before Harris got the nomination handed to her by Biden, her approval rating was 34%. Now it's 46% or something like that in the space of a few weeks. And so it wasn't that people were analyzing Harris. People, and this is a shame, but people react to what other people tell them. So it's not that they're watching and listening and evaluating and studying. They don't do that. It's what they pick up in everyday conversation.
I agree.
So my message to Donald Trump, and you mentioned Cuomo. I was on Cuomo last night, and Cuomo was jumping up and down about the mass deportations of migrants, which is a big Trump theme. Okay, if I'm elected, we're gonna deport everybody. Well, he's not going to deport everybody because it's a violation of due process.
But did he say deport everybody or deport all the criminals?
No. He didn't delineate between criminals who absolutely should be deported.
Right.
And if he could do that, he would then ascend into one of the greatest president roles of all time,
right,
referencing confronting the presidents. Every foreign migrant with any kind of a criminal conviction here should be deported. Every one. Right. I don't care if it's jaywalking. You break our laws, you're here without documentation, you're gone forever.
Yeah.
That's it. Zero tolerance. But if once a foreign national sets 1 foot on American soil, they are protected by our Constitution. Therefore, they get due process. So you can't send federal marshals to their home, drag them out, throw them on a bus, and drop them off in Tijuana. You can't. And there's no court in the world that would certify that. So what I want Donald Trump to do, and again, I'm a fair analyst. I'm not a partisan or a rooter, but I've made it very clear to everybody on WABC and all of my other outlets that Kamala Harris would be the most disastrous president in our history. You're voting to hurt yourself and your family if you vote for her. And that's the truth. I don't care whether she's a Democrat, a mugwump. I don't care what she is. The woman is off the chart dangerous. She's Bernie Sanders in a pantsuit. Okay? That's who she is. So whether you hate Trump or not, Trump's not going to destroy the country. He did a pretty good job in 4 years that he was there. So that's my analysis. And I would like Donald Trump to borrow from me and be more precise in his language rather than get out there and throw bombs for a half hour so the MAGA people can jump up and down.
But he didn't do – I want to take a break. He did not do that. I could outline for you the 20 really, really juicy policies he talked about in North Carolina yesterday. He doesn't do it for 30 minutes. He peppers in Kamala this, Kamala that, and I'm going to explain to the audience why – to keep criticizing him, which we've done now for the better part of 6 years, certainly since 2020 over it, is silly because that's who he is. We'll come back with Bill O'Reilly, talk more about this. Plus, Bill did a great job talking about if he was moderating the debate, he would ask Kamala this question and Trump this question. I want to hear that again. The great Bill O'Reilly when we get back.
Going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. And I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. I'm just another heart in need of rescue. Waiting on
Sid and Friends in the morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Nice little Phil Collins for you, fourth and final hour on this Thursday with Bill O'Reilly, the best ever. I don't just say that. It's not hyperbole, it's true. But I'm going to say this. Bill just said right before the break, he should listen to me, and I don't disagree with Bill. I don't. And not talk about Kamala personally for 30 minutes. And I said, we didn't do that. If I look back at what he talked about in North Carolina yesterday, he talked about making an executive order to reduce inflation. He talked about no taxes on tips and Social Security. He talked about lowering prices on energy. He talked about making America affordable again by doing what? By lowering prescription prices. He talked about, yes, deportation. So what he does is he'll talk for 30 minutes about the policies. Then he'll call Kamala stupid, which she may or may not be. I don't know. She very well may be. And then, like Bill just said, people go, all he did was talk about personal tax. And it's just not true. And I expect the Democrats to say that. That's all they've got. But here is my growing frustration. I'm becoming more like Pirro and even my late partner Bernard, in that when Republicans are doing it, what that says to me is they're looking for any reason not to vote for Trump. That's my feeling, Bill.
Okay, look, you got to deal with reality, Sid. And the reality is that Donald Trump should win this election on the issues. Right?
Yes.
So whenever he deviates away from the issues, the hate Trump media, 85% of it, of the country's media, hates him. All they're going to do is pick up that and amplify it. So you're right. Most of the rally in Asheville, North Carolina was spent on, here's how I'm going to improve the economy. But that will never get out. No one will hear it unless you're watching Newsmax because they cover the rallies. You'll never hear it. So that's the reality of the corrupt media in America. They are not going to report anything positive about Donald Trump.
True.
So and because I know more about the media, I think, than anyone.
Agreed.
Right? So my advice to President Trump, if he wants to win, is if you're going to go after Kamala Harris, do it funny. Because he's got a great sense of humor.
He does, but he's vicious, too, and he's a fighter. And I'm just going to say this.
Well, it's the difference between being a fighter.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that Trump, he should change anything about his essence. I love that, essence.
Good word.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm saying when you have a gift of humor, use it.
But he's got both.
Get your point across.
But he's got both. I mean, look, I think he's the same guy. I don't know, and I know where you're coming from, and politically you're making all the sense in the world. I just think it's unfair at this point to expect this guy who's been doing this for 10 years the same way, winning 3 straight primaries, who's 78 years old, who's got a great sense of humor, but is also a Queen's fighter, to become, as my friend said this morning, Winston Churchill. It's unrealistic.
No, he doesn't have to become anything. He has to use discipline in this presentation if he wants to win.
He does. But
look, Sid.
Yeah.
I'm going to come over there and I'm going to have to ransack the studio if you don't. He needs women to vote for him.
Okay.
Women.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I'm generalizing now.
Right, that's why Biden picked. That's why Harris is
there.
there.
Women are smarter than men. Look at your wife and you.
Right.
There's no comparison. Danielle is 10 times smarter than you.
That's
okay?
True. Yes.
So women are smarter than men. But women are more emotional. They don't like, generally speaking, the attacks, but they will accept the humor of it.
Let me ask you this. In 2016, when Trump won, Bill, just to play devil's advocate, okay? And by the way, women are smarter, except in this election. She's not smarter. He's much smarter. But anyway, 2016, Who did Donald Trump beat?
Well,
No. Answer. Who did he beat? He beat Hillary Clinton. He beat a woman, right. And he attacked her. He told everybody to put her in jail, and he still won. So clearly, he can attack a woman and still win.
No, he can attack Hillary Clinton.
Oh, she's the only one.
Onerous. Word of the day. She had a resume that alienated everybody. All right? Harris is an empty vessel. Nobody knows about her. And she's went out, got the big smile. Oh, I'm here. Hello. It's not Hillary. Hillary lost because people didn't like her. They felt that she was corrupt. All right? Her husband, Bill, is 1,000 times more likable than Hillary.
Agreed.
And that's why he won.
I actually think he won because people liked him then. I disagree with you. I think they liked him.
They liked Bill Clinton. Okay? That's why he beat Bush the Elder. If Hillary had run against Bush the Elder, Bush would have won a second term.
Right.
And you'll get all that in confronting the presidents. You'll see it all.
I can't wait.
But Donald Trump needs to win. I told him this when I talked to him. Again, I don't call him, but when he calls me, I said, look, you need to win, not for you, for the country.
Sure.
So if you have to pivot into a little bit of a different presentation, do it.
Do you know what the definition of insanity is?
Morning Joe?
Close. You could even say morning Sid. I wouldn't argue with you.
You're not
but,
insane.
No, I'm close. The definition is, we do the same thing over and over again, and we expect different results. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do from now on. He's not going to be that guy you're looking for. He is not. Don't matter what you say.
I don't know about that.
I know it. I know it.
I saw it at the listen to me.
Yeah.
I saw it the first 20 minutes at the Republican convention.
20 minutes. You're not going to get that, but 2 hours. He's not. That's not him. He's Ric Flair.
There should be a trap door underneath him when he speaks.
The question is very
simple. When he starts, then the trap door opens and he disappears.
That would be great. So the question is very simple because everybody, and you're not alone, everybody asks me the same question. The Republicans, they're voting for Trump, and all they do is bitch about him. That's all they do. So
no, it's not bitching. It's constructive criticism because, and it's not just Republicans, all right, because patriots, and you're one, and I'm one. We want the best for our country.
Sure.
I fear that he may not win.
Me too.
And I want him to be as effective as possible.
Sure.
So that doesn't happen.
Agreed. But if he doesn't win, it's going to be because this country is filled with Democrats, and they love the fact there's a black female running, not because he called her stupid North Carolina, and I believe that to the end of the day. So the question is very simple. If he doesn't change, and he's not going to, same guy, 10 years. If he doesn't change, can he win?
I don't know. And it would be irresponsible of me to make a prediction. He doesn't have to change. He has to modify. Okay? So the big tell, I hate to use a cliche, of this election is the debate on September 10th, same day the president comes out, okay?
Yep.
So when Trump walks into that debate, he has to have the same mindset that he walked into the Biden debate with. I'm not going to be overbearing, okay? I'm going to be in, and I'm going to be surgical. And I'm sorry, Sid, you can't tell me that a guy that smart cannot do that. He can. I went out 4 shows with him. I did 8 hours of interviews with him on history, on policy.
Right.
And he was as sharp as you could possibly be.
Because he didn't have to worry about you attacking him. So he's going to go out there with the intent to be exactly what you want, and she's going to call him a convicted felon, and you can talk to your blue in the face. He's not capable at that point of saying, that's okay. He's not.
We disagree. I think he is capable.
I don't.
He takes the Ronald Reagan line. He looks at her, and he says, that's all you got.
He's not Reagan. He's Trump. And he's a nut. And I love him. And this is him. So what would you ask him at that debate if you had one question?
So I would ask him along the line of our discussion here, when you go after Vice President Harris, you know your MAGA voters are going to love it. They're going to love it. All right? But are you going to persuade women voters who aren't in your camp but are on the fence? do you believe that attacking her personally are going to persuade these independent women to vote for you? And why?
That's a great question, but here's the better part, okay? And only you can do this. And this has been, I have to say, an incredible 20 and 50 minutes. Here's the better part. The question is great, but what I want you to do is answer it. Answer it the way you think Trump should answer that.
All right. So if I'm Trump and I ask that question, number one, this is absolutely speculation because I have no idea how he would answer the question. I don't know. I would say, listen, this woman is dangerous. And by me going after her hard, I'm bringing attention to that danger.
That's right.
That's how I would answer the question.
Great answer. Great answer. Okay. What would your question be for that dangerous woman?
Well, here we go. This is a question that will never be asked of this woman, ever, because nobody has the stones to do it. I do, you do, but none of the corporate media would ever do it. Because you start fact-based, okay? You said, Ms. Vice President, on this date, you said publicly that Americans should contribute to this organization to help bail out looters and rioters in Minneapolis after the George Floyd confrontation.
Love it. Love it.
Were you sympathetic to those looters and rioters? Why did you do that?
And just like we did with Donald Trump, if you were Harris, how would you answer that?
What the vice president would say is, Donald Trump caused all the riots, and he should not have been bailed out at all. He's going to blame everything on earth,
yeah,
right, including the flop of George Clooney movies on Donald Trump. All right?
He is, yes.
Everything.
Yes.
That's all she's going to do. So she's already done it. Trump is responsible for the border collapse.
Right.
Trump is responsible for inflation.
All of it.
Right.
So when she looks at Trump at that debate and goes, okay, she looks at him, and you can play Trump here, and she goes, I know people like you. I made a career. I made my bones in putting people like you, predators, in prison in California. You don't fool me. You're a convicted felon. You're a rapist. You don't fool me. You expect Donald Trump at that point to turn into what? Into Jerry Seinfeld? Into somebody likable?
I don't think Harris would ever say that.
She'll say all that. Oh, 100% she will.
Okay, well, we'll see.
And if she does, what do you want? What do you expect from Trump? Because I want realistic expectations.
Trump would turn around and would say, this is what I would say if anybody's. I said, number one, you don't know anything about these cases regarding me at all. Number two, everyone who's fair-minded knows these prosecutions never should have taken place. And we have a legion of attorneys testifying to that. And number three, you don't have any policy improvements. All you have is gutter sniping. You live on gutter snipe alley. That's it.
That's a good response. Man, I hope you can do that, because that's a really good response. I mean that. That's a great response. Well,
when somebody attacks you personally,
yeah,
you don't want to get into the mud with that person. You want to rise above it, but point out very, very authoritatively what they are doing.
Yeah.
You don't have anything, madam. You don't have any solutions. It was your fault and Biden's fault that all of this catastrophe happened, and all you can do is personal attacks. Shame on you.
The reason why you can say all this, I'm going to give you credit. No, it's not true necessarily for everybody, but you actually operate your life that way because you were treated very unfairly, incredibly unfairly. You were besmirched and beaten nearly to death, and that's how you operate. So when you say that, it's credible because that's how you live your life. Again, I'm not sure that could ever be Donald Trump or Sid Rosenberg, but to your credit, you're not just saying it. That's how you live your life. So,
but the strategy we imposed in that time has led to phenomenal success.
True.
And that's the point I want to get across to Trump.
Yep.
If you take my strategy, what we did, we just ignored that. And we built the most successful independent news agency in the world.
Yes, you did.
In the world.
Yep. You did.
By avoiding mudslinging with these pigs. And they are. They are. Now, if Trump could just step back and see the big picture, he wants to get back into the Oval Office. The best way to do it is to rise above the personal and emphasize the policy. And you tell him that when you see him this weekend from me.
I'll tell him tonight. I will. Whether he listens or not is another story, but you were amazing as always, and I'm really excited. I got the book. It's on my table, the hardcover, Confronting the Presidents. Danielle's in Florida. I'm alone. I get to spend a lot of alone time this weekend reading your book. I can't wait. Comes out September the 10th, as Bill said, the same day as a debate between Trump and Harris. And what I said earlier, this show's success, a lot of it is all about you being on at least once, sometimes twice a week. So thank you as always for a great appearance. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Sid. Thanks for having me in.
You're the best. Bill O'Reilly. Take a quick break. Fourth and final hour to come your way.